Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, I wanted to take a little bit of time to sort of break down the significance of having a master number in your life path. Now, this is specifically for those of you who have the master number, either 11, 22, 33, or the very rare number of 44. In your life path number, this is for you. This is not really going to pertain so much to those of you who have a master number in another placement within your report. So in your birthday, in your expression, in et cetera, et cetera. I'm really focusing this episode on those who have it in their life path, because I get this question quite a bit, especially on YouTube. Am I a 33? Am I a 6? Am I a 33-6? What does it mean? And why is it sort of depicted that way, such as the master number and the root number? So I want to go over all of that. And I also want to talk about the calculations and how we sort of derive at whether or not you have a master number in your life path. And again, I want to talk about the significance of that and what that means specifically. Because again, the life path number, that's the big one. That's the one that we have from birth to death. That's the one, that's the journey, right? So that's why I'm focusing this segment on when you have a master number in your life path, because that's the significance. So we're going to break that down. I'm not going to spend a tremendous amount of time on this because I do have a lot of resources on my podcast and on my channel that go more deeply into each master number and what that means and how that can surface throughout your journey. So I'm not going to spend a tremendous amount of time on that. I kind of want to look more at the mechanics of it, so to speak. Okay, so when we're talking about having a master number life path, typically how you will see that portrayed is, again, 11-2, 22-4, 33-6, 44-8, etc. So you typically wouldn't see it just as 11, 22, 33. The reason for that is because when we're talking about someone's life path number, their life path number will always be the base number. So let's use 11-2, right? If you do the calculation for your life path number and you come up with 11-2, your actual life path number is 2. If you are a 22-4, your life path number is and always will be 4. Same thing with 33-6, your life path number is and always will be 6. 44-8, your life path number will always be 8. And what that means is, anything that you listen to or read about that has to do with that base number, your true life path number, the 2, 4, 6, 8, that is always going to be relevant for you. Because in this lifetime, you are meant to, and very likely will, step into and master that life path number, okay? That base number. So you will always sort of gravitate towards that energy in mastering that. So it absolutely benefits you to understand sort of in-depthly what it means to be a 2, 4, 6, or 8. What the traits are, what the challenges are, what the sort of higher and lower octaves are of those energies, because you will be moving through those energies and you will likely master them in this lifetime, and you are meant to do something with those energies. So they're absolutely relevant. Now, when we're looking at the 11, 22, 33, 44, anytime we're calculating for numerology, and there's several different calculations, which I'm going to talk about in a moment, but anytime that we're calculating for numerology, oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes there will be a significant number that sort of precurses the life path number. So it is what we call an influencing energy, an influencing number. For many people, for everybody, it tells us sort of the path that the soul wants to take to master that life path number. Okay, so the influencing energy is very significant, whether it's master number or not. But for the master numbers, that influencing number is very, very significant. So again, the 11, the 22, the 33, the 44 is what we would call sort of an influencing energy. Now, it's a little bit different with master level numbers, right? So let's say if you are a 15-6, let's say that you have 15-6 and 33-6 energies, okay? That 33 is significant for all of the reasons that we talk about master level energy. 6 being your life path number, but the 33 being the master number significant, and we're going to talk about why in a moment. But that 15 would also be significant as an influencing number. That 15 would tell me, the numerologist, how that individual, what they want to experience on their path towards that 6 energy, towards mastering that 6 energy, what they could sort of be facing alongside of all the other energies in your report, right? So the influencing energy gives us a very good indication of sort of the more specifics that the soul wants to experience or master alongside of the 6 on that journey, right? The master number influencing energies are sort of a whole nother ballgame, right? So when you have a master number as an influencing energy, so again, 11, 2, 22, 4, 33, 6, 44, 8, this just by default indicates that this is a lifetime that's not better than or less than anybody else's, right? Master number, although it kind of has that sort of connotation, right, with master, it doesn't signify that this is a holier than thou or better than lifetime than anybody else. Really what that signifies is that this is a lifetime that the soul wants to master this energy alongside of the life path or the core life path number. And so in and of itself, it signifies that this will be a lifetime that sort of demands more. So typically what we see when someone has strong master number energies in their life path is that this is someone who will likely face tremendous challenges early on and continue to face those challenges to become sort of that master of that energy later in life, right? So it just sort of signifies potentially greater challenges, but also greater mastery when it comes to that life path number. So if you are a life path 2, but you have strong influencing energies of the 11, that means that you will master the 2 and your soul will be pushing you to also master the 11. So the way that I explain it to my clients is you can look at it as if you have master level energy in your life path. You can look at it as your soul signed up for the sort of standard degree program in this lifetime being your life path number. So let's use the example of the 11-2. So your soul signed up for the standard degree program of the 2. But it also signed up for additional coursework. So a master's program in this energy of the 2, right? An extension of that 2 energy. So you will complete the basic coursework of the 2 and you will master that and step into it, right? That's pretty much non-negotiable, especially with master level energy. Will you hit the higher octave of the 2? That's up to you, right? That's based on your decisions and your choices. But you will likely master that energy of your life path. But in this lifetime, the soul wants to also master that additional degree program of the 11. Now, because it's sort of like elective coursework that the soul signed up for, right? The 11 is more elective. It's more negotiable, so to speak. So you may or may not step into this energy in this lifetime. It's not guaranteed, and it's certainly not out of the womb, so to speak. What happens with people who have, or typically what happens with people who have master level energy in their life path is early on they face a lot of the challenges of that master number. Not only the challenges, but also the triumphs, the pulling, extracting the wisdom, all of those things. And this process can continue, well into your 30s, your 40s. And then you start to see sort of the opportunities present themselves that often feel larger than life or wildly outside of your comfort zone that you're being asked to say yes to. And a lot of times it can feel so daunting and so bigger than self and so wildly, again, outside of that comfort zone that it's easier to say no to those opportunities, right? Those opportunities for growth, evolution, or mastery of these energies. And so that's what I mean when I say it's negotiable, because your choices, your decisions, what you say yes and what you say no to, will determine whether or not you step into and embody this energy and master it. And if you choose not to, there's nothing wrong with that. It just means that you will stay within the octave or within sort of the guidelines, so to speak, of your life path number. So 2, 4, 6, 8, which there's nothing wrong with. It's just in this lifetime, your soul wants to not only master that base number, but also that master program of the 11, 22, 33, 44. And what that does is those master numbers, not only is it mastery of those energies, but it becomes sort of this opportunity for either your work or your presence to have a greater impact on the greater good, right? So a large population. Anytime there's 11, 22, 33, 44 energy, this is not meant to be small energy or compact. It's meant to have a far reach. And a lot of times that can be challenging within itself, right? So when I say that this is negotiable, this master level energy, it just means that your choices will decide whether or not you master and embody this energy. But those opportunities to do so are usually very big and very grand. And a lot of times that can bring up irrational fears and internal conflict and all of those things. So that's why it becomes so much more challenging to say yes to and embody it, because the master level energy comes with its own set of sort of challenges and circumstances outside of the base life path number, right? So for a lot of people, just mastering the base life path number 2, 4, 6, 8 is challenge enough, right? And they don't really want the additional added pressure or added prestige or added, whatever comes on your particular journey. So that's what I mean when I say it's negotiable. You will, like I said, very likely step into your base life path in this lifetime. But for those who have a master number in their life path, they typically will always feel that pressure of there's something bigger I'm meant to do. There's something more. There's something more for me. I'm not doing enough, which I think anybody feels that in this world at this time, right? Like it's a very action-oriented sort of lifetime for most people this day and age. But for those who have a master level number in their life path, it's sort of like this feeling of a bigger presence surrounding them, and they can't quite put their finger on what it is they're meant to do, or what it is they're meant to step into, or how they're meant to do, quote unquote, more, or whatever the case may be, to satisfy this sort of pressure. And really that feeling never goes away, no matter how much you do. So I always tell my clients, just, as much as you can, take that pressure off of yourself, because what you're doing is enough. Your job is to say yes to those opportunities when they start to come in that push you beyond your comfort zone, to step into this work, to step into this higher energy. But for the most part, even if you choose in this lifetime to stay within your base life path number, you will likely always sort of feel that additional pressure, right? And so that I don't think ever really goes away. And I feel like it's there from the soul continuously sort of pushing you forward to master that master number, because that's ultimately what the soul wants to do, right? The ego wants to stay safe in its comfort zone. The soul wants to continue to grow and expand. And if you look at your full numerology report, if you have a master number in your life path, you can see how the soul sort of set you up or your soul sets you up to be successful in mastering this energy. However, we also have an ego, right? And so it's kind of like this is a lifetime, especially for people who have master level energy, to put the ego in the back seat and let the soul drive. And figuring out how to do that, life will present you with everything that you need to be able to do that. And like I said, you can see it in your report, how your soul sort of sets you up to be your soul sets you up for success. Let's put it that way. Because ultimately your soul wants to achieve this, and it knows that it can, but you are the deciding factor. So I should say your ego is the deciding factor, and your choices, right? So I hope that kind of helps you to understand that, when you're looking at what is my life path number, it's not going to be 11, 22, 33. Those are the goals of the soul. Your life path is 2, 4, 6, 8, right? And then it's the goal of the soul to step into those sort of master energies, and then do something with those energies. Now, what I will say is, again, typically, I don't see, and I haven't seen just by studying people who have these energies, who are like in the limelight, right? You typically don't see people step into their master energy, their master number energy, until much later in life, because this is very much a journey. Because first you have to sort of master your life path number, 2, 4, 6, 8, and then move on to master and embody that master number, 11, 22, 33, 44. So it's a journey. So it's very rare, unless someone has mastered this in a past life, and you would see that in your birthday number. But unless someone has mastered this in their past life, it's very unlikely that they will step into this energy or master it and embody it early on. Typically, it's a very long journey, and we usually don't see people start to step into it or do something significant with it until around 45, 50, 60, and beyond. So it's absolutely a journey. Now, there are, like I mentioned, different calculations that numerologists will use to come up with the life path number. There's one or two, I would say there's two that are the most frequently used and the most popular. There's one that most numerologists choose to use, and it's the only calculation that they will use. That calculation typically will show a lower frequency of master numbers, right? So when we use this one particular calculation, and I'm going to put the 3 calculations that we use in the description box below. So you're very welcome to do the calculations for your birth date yourself and see the differences. But with this one that we typically use, or that's the most sort of popular for numerologists, it tends to give a master number, a master influencing number, less frequently. So if you have a numerologist who only uses that calculation, it's not going to show the master number, right? So you may have 33, say you may have 33, 6 as your life path number. But if we only use that one calculation, it may not show that. It might show like 15-6 or something like that. The thought behind that is, for some numerologists, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, I'm just saying this is sort of the standard. The thought behind that is, for this one calculation, if you do not have a master number with this calculation, then that numerologist would consider you to not have that influencing energy and for it not to be impactful. So they would say you're a 15-6 or you're a 6 or et cetera, et cetera. For many numerologists, myself included, I believe that if in any of the calculations that we use, which for me, there's 3 main ones, if in any of those calculations, it shows master number, so 11, 22, 33, 44, then I believe that you are going to experience that in this lifetime. It's there, the energies are prominent, and you're going to experience it. So I will always, in my readings, do those 3 calculations, especially if I see you're a 2, 4, 6, or 8. I'll always do those three calculations. And if at anywhere in those calculations you show those influencing energies of any of the master numbers, then we're going to talk about it, because I really do feel that if that energy is present, it is absolutely sort of dominant in your journey, and you will absolutely feel it. So I often will have people say, if I do the calculation this way, I get 15-6. If I do it this way, I get 33-6. Which one is it? And I would say it's all of it, right? So if I'm reading your chart, I'm going to say, okay, you're 15-6, you're a 6, you're a 33-6. We're going to focus on the 33-6 because that's going to probably be the one that's the most dominant in your journey. But we're also going to talk about what does that 15 mean and how does that play into your journey. So to me, it's all very, very significant, and it all plays a role in the bigger picture. But that 33, anytime I see master numbers in the life path, that's a sounding bell to me that this is significant and this person needs to be aware of it, because it's likely influencing their journey, and it's very likely the soul is motivated to step into that energy. Now, what I will say is, if over 1 or 2 of the calculations it shows a master number, but the third calculation shows, like, let's say 15-6, then I would say that this is probably, this master number is probably negotiable, like we talked about. However, if you are someone who every calculation shows a master number, so let's say there's 3 calculations that I use and that most numerologists use. If you are someone who every calculation shows, let's say 11-2, then I would say you shifted from negotiable to non-negotiable in this lifetime, meaning that your soul is going to be very, very determined to step into that 11-2 energy in this lifetime. And when you make choices that move you away from that, you will feel it very, very strongly, like very, very strongly. And I'm not saying that can't happen for somebody who only has it in one of the calculations. It certainly could, right? And it also kind of depends on what else is in your chart. But if I see that you have master number energy across all calculations, this is, I think, a lifetime for you where your soul absolutely wants to do this. And it's set you up to do it, and it's going to keep pushing you and pushing you and pushing you to do it. So that's the only difference. That's where I see it as this turns from negotiable to non-negotiable. and you'll feel it, right? So for me, that's what I would say is like that true master number energy. Whereas many numerologists would say, if that one particular calculation doesn't show master number, then you're not a master number. I don't necessarily subscribe to that way of thinking. Not saying it's right or wrong, just saying my experience with many, many clients who have master energy. If it's present for a reason. So again, I'm going to leave those 3 calculations in the description box below. Play around with them. You can kind of see, again, like the different results that come from it. And of course, like I said, if you want to kind of dive deeper and gain a greater understanding, please book some time with me. I would absolutely love to work with you. A lot of my clients are clients who have master number in their life path because it is such a unique journey in this lifetime. And it really does demand so much. So I always advise definitely seek consultation from a numerologist because it's going to help to bring clarity and confirmation to this very, very unique journey for sure. But I do think it will help just to kind of understand the different calculations, what we're looking at from our end, and sort of, again, you'll get to see the different influencing energies. Okay. And I want to reiterate, it's, regardless of whether you have master number energy or non-master number energy in your life path, life is always going to present you with what you need to step into these energies and master them, and then continue to sort of manage that energy and work with it and do something with it, right? So it comes back always to our own choices because the energy can be there, the opportunities can be there. But if we choose not to work with them or choose to go against them, then that's going to create our experience, right? So there's not necessarily anything you need to do differently or more of or anything like that having these master numbers, right? It's more about the understanding that your soul really wants to step into this in this lifetime. So you may face greater challenges, greater opportunities to step into that energy and do something with it, which is not going to necessarily come easily. But again, the choice is always, always, always yours. You could say, I don't want to do this in this lifetime. And it might be very, very uncomfortable to do that, to not do that. But it's okay, right? Like you have free will. You ultimately get to decide that. And it's very likely that if you don't do it in this lifetime, you'll just come back and try to do it again in the next lifetime. So it's fine, right? You can sort of take that pressure off a little bit. Although I will say I have yet to meet someone with master level energy in their life path who just doesn't constantly feel that bigger pressure that they can't see, they can't put a finger on it, they can't explain it, but it's there and they keep feeling it, right? It keeps kind of pushing them and pushing them. And I just don't think that really goes away, even if your choices move you towards saying, nope, I want to stay in my base life path, that's okay. It's just know that your soul your soul knows that you can step into this energy and it's pushing you to do so. But you always have the choice. And I say you, meaning like your ego, right? The mind. Okay, so what are the master numbers and sort of what do they signify? Just so you're again, to give an overview highlight reel. Again, I have so many resources on my channels about the master numbers, what it means, what it looks like, what to expect. I also do monthly readings for those like forecasts. So there's plenty of resources there for you. So this is going to be a very high level overview, very brief. So, if you're interested in digging further, if this is sort of new for you, then please check out my channel and those resources. Or, of course, book a reading with me because that's going to be the most in-depth look at this. Okay, so for the 11-2, we have, of course, the base energy of 2, which is the mediator, the peacekeeper, the one who's going to be able to be the observer, see where there's disconnect, and then bring connection. Hopefully, that's the higher octave, that's the goal. Is looking to bring people together or unity. The 11 The master number 11 is the inspirational leader. And so with this energy, that too is looking to inspire, uplift, sort of empower others through their own work. And what I mean by that is the 11-2, or the 11, right, is more of a feeling or a presence. It conjures up some kind of a feeling in the observer. So what do I mean by this? So with an inspirational leader, you cannot inspire others if you're not doing something that inspires you. So the 11 is always meant to be heart-led and doing what inspires them. If they are doing something out of obligation or to keep the peace or to please others, they're going to lose that inspiration, and they're going to put their energy towards something that is uninspiring, right? And so they're moving away from that energy of the 11. When they are doing something that inspires them, whether it's art or anything, right? When they're doing something that inspires them, they are lit up in their own energy, right? Their vibration lifts. And just by that presence, just by them doing what makes them happy, what inspires them, what lights them up, they automatically inspire others, right? It's a higher frequency that frequency has the potential to lift the frequency of others. So again, it's a feeling. So what I mean by that is you could do a beautiful piece of artwork that you felt incredibly inspired to do. You hang it on the wall, people walk by, they see that beautiful piece of artwork, and they feel inspired to follow their passions, to do their work, or whatever the case may be. Or they just simply see that picture and they feel like they've been taken to into the forest type thing, or they find peace, they find harmony and happiness, all through your work that has inspired them, right? Or left them feeling of a higher frequency. So with the 11, again, it's a feeling, it's a presence, whether that's through your work, something tangible that you're putting out into the world, or just by you, again, doing what inspires you that may be going against the grain, that other people don't necessarily understand, but it lights you up. And so they, in turn, feel your presence, feel your energy, and they become inspired to do the same, to follow their heart, to follow their inspirations. So again, it becomes not about influencing, right? There's a different vibration between inspiring and influencing. And the 11 is meant to inspire, not influence. So incredibly beautiful energy with that. Also, you can see how it's sort of a extension of the 2 energy, right? Because when we're inspired, that's already a unifying energy. Inspiration is a unifying energy. So it brings people together just by its frequency, right? And again, the 11 is simply being asked, I say simply, it's much more complicated than that, because usually what the 11 is asked to do goes against the grain or ruffles feathers, and it just creates a very interesting dynamic for the 11 too. But it is a unifying energy at its core. So incredibly, incredibly beautiful. The 22-4, the 4 is the legacy builder. It's wisdom. It is the foundation. It wants to build a strong foundation. It's going to be very methodical in its approach. It's going to look at the details, right? It's going to be very patient and persistent. And so it's a very wise teacher. It's very much about creating some kind of very solid, again, foundation that will last the test of time, which is also heart-led, because the 4 is a very intuitive, heart-led energy. The 4th chakra is the heart chakra. So it's a very heart-led, very deep, emotive energy, but also very practical. The 22 is a more tangible energy, right? We talked about 11 being more of a feeling, a presence. The 22 is more tangible. It wants to build something. It is that of the master builder, building together. So uniting through some kind of solid structure, or building some kind of strong foundation, right? So it's very foundational. With the master builder, these people are meant to take an idea, take an inspiration, and build something resourceful from it, build some kind of solution from that inspiration. And they're not meant to do it alone. They're meant to do it with others. So unifying others, bringing people together. Because again, you have the double twos. So this is a very collaborative effort, even when the 22 doesn't necessarily want it to be. It is a very much working with others, sharing ideas, and then building something strong together on a grander scale. Because remember, anytime we have master number energy, this is meant to be felt, experienced, witnessed by a large population, because it's meant to have greater impact, right? Not just on self. So again, building something significant with a strong foundation together. Incredibly beautiful. Then we have the 33-6. So the 6 energy is the nurturing caregiver, the beautifier that brings love to a space. The vibration of 6 is the vibration of love. Even though it gets a bad rap in a lot of ways in the world today, 6 energy is about love. It's the vibration of love. And so anywhere the 6 shows up, it's going to bring things into harmony, into some kind of beauty, right? It wants to bring love to light. So it's about love, truth, and honesty. And so where there is no love, no truth, no honesty, the 6 comes in and brings it to that space. And the 33 is an extension of that, right? So again, the 6 is going to be about nurturing, showing up for others, loving, showing how to love in a healthy way, right? Which again becomes the journey. The 33 is the spiritual leader. And so though that sounds holier than thou, it isn't meant to in that way. What it's meant to do is be the embodiment of unconditional love in this lifetime. Now, that within itself is incredibly challenging, right? So you can see when we go through these why this is a lifelong journey for people who have this in their life path, because these are big energies to step into and master and then do something with. So for the 33, it's taking that very nurturing, loving, honest, truthful vibration of the 6, and it's expanding that to a greater population, right? Through, again, feeling and presence. So a 33-6 who is in that embodiment can simply walk into a room and people are going to feel that vibration. They're going to feel that presence. And that presence is going to have an effect on the people surrounding them, right? And so the first person, I honestly don't know, I should look it up, but I don't know what his life path is. But someone who immediately comes to mind would be like Eckhart Tolle, right? Like the energy of Eckhart Tolle is very calming, loving, accepting, very present, right? That's that sort of energy where just his presence alone has an effect on people in a positive way. And that really is sort of, when we say like spiritual leader for the 33-6, we mean lead by example. And that's not about the words. That's about the embodiment of true unconditional love, which goes so beyond like the physical, like traditional sort of 3D romantic relationships that we want to always equate it to. It's a universal kind of love that is always present, but the 33 is meant to embody it in this lifetime, be that presence, and through just that presence, be that leader, right? A leader through their actions, through their presence. And oftentimes with the 33 and the 6, They are very good at beautifying a space, bringing beauty, truth, and light to a space just by their presence. So again, it's a feeling and a presence. And then we have one that is incredibly rare. I've been doing this for several years, and I've seen, thousands of clients, and I've only seen one 44-8. And it's not an easy energy. None of these are what I would call easy energies to step into. But the 44-8 is incredibly rare, so I don't spend a lot of time on it. I don't, have a lot of resources on my channels about it because, like I said, out of thousands of readings, I've literally only seen one person who had the 44-8, and it was across one calculation, but still very significant. So this is extremely, extremely rare. So I would say, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. What I would say is if you are a 44-8 across any of those calculations, let's talk, book some time with me because this is a big lifetime for you. So I would call this energy the disciplined visionary. And the reason for that is these people are going to sort of have a worthwhile goal with integrity. So the 8 is going to bring the integrity. The 8 is the business-minded leader. It's got the, it's the visionary. It's going to hold a bigger vision. It's going to move towards that vision. It oftentimes will be, again, very tangible. So it's going to build something that can help and serve others, or it's going to be the expert at something that sort of translates into money, resources, power, status, and sort of equalizing those things for the masses, right? Because remember, it's a master number, so it's going to have a far reach, or it's meant to. And when we talk about 8 energy, it's everything that is governed by, it governs the physical plane. It's also a very strong spiritual component to this as well. And it has very strong integrity, or it's meant to, in its higher octave. But it's very much focused on the physical, the material goods, and what those physical, tangible things, what they can do for people, and the difference and impact that they can have in lives. So the 44, again, becomes the disciplined visionary. So oftentimes they will need to have some kind of, again, bigger, worthwhile goal that's, stemmed in integrity, meaning that their goal serves a greater purpose, right? Something bigger than self. It's for the greater good. It's not for selfish purposes only. It's going to, it has good intentions, etc., etc. There's often a tremendous amount of hidden wisdom to uncover during this journey. I would say that's the case with any life path, master level or not, but with a 44-8, there's a tremendous amount of wisdom that's meant to be unlocked in this lifetime, and it's typically going to be done through very physical experiences, whether that's through extreme illnesses or things to do with the physical body or money or resource, et cetera, et cetera. So very extreme sort of physical experiences, often challenges that will help to unlock just immense wisdom in this lifetime to then do something with it, to help get it out into the world. This is also about patience, self-control, persistence. This is, again, a big vision, and this person will need to take very meticulous steps in partnership with a larger or a bigger source, right? So the unseen, so their higher consciousness or God or the universe or whatever you subscribe to, right? But really, the 44-8 is not just about the physical plane. It's very much tied into and in partnership with something bigger than self. So source, the universe, etc., becomes a very strong partnership that is meant to come out within their work. So big, big, big energy. Yeah. So I hope that this sort of helps to kind of give an idea about, again, if you have a life path that's a master number, that, this is the goal in this lifetime. Will you achieve it? Maybe, maybe not. That's okay. If you don't, you'll just try to do it again in the next lifetime. But the numerology helps to assist you to understand sort of what your soul wants to move through and learn and overcome in order to step into this energy. So again, I would say, especially if you have master level energy in your life path, I would highly recommend a reading. And I would highly recommend a recorded reading where I will go into detail and in depth into your report. The written report is great. If that's what if that's all you want to do, that's okay too. I think that that'll bring enough clarity and confirmation for your journey. But I certainly would recommend for the master level folks to probably get the recorded reading, just because, again, we can dive a lot more and a lot more in depth into your chart. So I hope you find this helpful. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. I'll be happy to answer those as soon as I can. If you have any questions about the calculations, let me know. Again, the best thing to do is to have a reading, but hopefully this will help you if you're not able to do that. So thanks, everyone. Take care. Thanks for being here. Bye for now.